Hi everyone, it's Nancy from Papercraft Arts. First of all, I want to say welcome to my channel and welcome to any new subscribers. Thank you very much. Today I'm here to share a project with you. I'm making some patchwork pockets to put in journals. Here are a few that I made. This is a great way to use up your scraps and play around with some fabric, add a little texture and something tactile to your journals. This one I decorated with a little lace, that one too. This one I made, one of the squares I put in came out crooked, and it was really bothering me. So what I did was I just cut up another piece of fabric and made a little pocket to cover it up. So now you have two pockets. And here's one where I kind of made a focal point with a butterfly, and then I hand stitched around it. It's not my best job, but it is what it is. And then I added fabrics around it that kind of matched the colors in the butterfly. So that's that one. And these two are just plain. I haven't decided how I want to decorate them yet. This one goes this way actually. And I had two ideas here. This is a little doily that I crocheted. So I thought maybe that might look cute in the center. But for some reason I just haven't decided yet. And then there's this lace that I thought might look good in the center. And I thought, well, maybe I should, tone the white down in the lace and coffee dye it first. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do to decorate that pocket. And then this one, I thought maybe I found this red crochet trim I have, and I thought maybe that might look good that way. But that's one of my tough things in making journals, is trying to make decisions on what I like and what I don't like. So those are these samples, and I thought I'd at least make one with you today. And let's go through the list of supplies, which isn't much. I made these pockets. Let me keep these close. I started out with just some artist paper from that Somerset magazine. It's kind of thick, but it's not real stiff. So that way, after I'm done stitching these on the machine, I can cover them with some coffee dye paper or another piece of this paper, and then that way the pocket will have some stability when I put it in the journal. But I wanted something not thin, but something that wasn't real thick cardstock, so that I could sew around it and then cover the stitching afterward. And I measured out a pocket that would fit in like a standard journal size. So I measured out a pocket about 5 inches by 3 3/8. And if you take a journal page that size, I like to leave a little room for my pockets when I'm putting them in my journals, to leave a little, space on the side that gets stitched in. So that's, you can make it whatever size you want. I'm just telling you what size I started out with. So that's that. And then you'll also need, let me put my ruler away. You'll need some scissors, preferably fabric scissors. You'll need some Fabri-Tac or some other kind of fabric glue to use to tack down the pieces of fabric. And you'll need a pile of fabric, like this big bag I have. And this isn't the only one I have. Another thing you'll need is just a regular sewing needle. And that's about it. If you want to add, you know, decoration to the pockets, you might want to pull out some lace or some trim that you might have. I was even thinking of using this green stuff, the green leaves. I wanted to see what that looked like on this pocket, because that might be a possibility. I'm not sure. So yeah, any trim or lace, or you know, even clusters, like little clusters, fabric clusters you made might look good. Yeah, anything you can think of to kind of jazz up your pocket a little bit. So that's basically all you need, in addition to, in addition to a sewing machine. And if you don't have a sewing machine, I was trying to figure out what you'd do with something like this if you didn't have a sewing machine. You could hand stitch around it. I did it with this. I just poked my needle right through this paper, and it wasn't that hard. It wasn't that difficult. So you can, you know, hand stitch it around the edge and just leave the inside plain. Or if you want, you can hand stitch them all. So, you know, like a basic running stitch, which is what this is. So, or take it as an opportunity to try out some slow stitching, and the different types of stitches that you make when you're slow stitching. You can do that too. So I have this upside down again. I wonder why I keep doing that. Anyways, so let me get the pocket that I was gonna make. I already chose the fabric, so I hope that's okay. And basically, to make it, you know, not too complicated, and to make it kind of simple, I kind of divided my pocket up into 6 squares, you know, just visually, like 3 squares across and 2 up and down. So like I did on this pocket here. So I'll start out with a piece of fabric and lay it down. I try to leave some on the edge so that when I'm done I can trim it off. And if it's big like this, I'll still lay it down temporarily like that in the corner, or you know, wherever I want to put it. And as you'll know, on this pocket, if you see in this pocket, where is it? This one, I didn't even follow my 6 squares. I just put one piece down that side like that. So you don't have to follow the 6 squares. You can lay out your fabric however you want. And I have this little piece where it says Paris and the Eiffel Tower, and I thought that might look neat in the middle. Even a little bit. If I leave too much on the edge, I'll cut off the top of the Eiffel Tower, so I have to kind of cut that close. And so lay that one down on that one. And this one, I tried to pick all neutral colors for this pocket, because I haven't done a neutral color yet. And this one could go any which way. And maybe we should, so put those on top, put this one on top. And we need one more. It also, laying it out by 6 squares, it gives you an idea of like how many, you know, different patterns of fabric you'll need. Now, I could do this, but then that would put kind of postal stuff right next to each other. And this is a fairly skinny piece. So maybe I could switch this, put this over here, and put this over here because that way it doesn't put these two colors together. And I could put that up there like that. I'm thinking maybe I want to cover it up just a little bit to even it out. And I think that's it. I have this one with the butterfly, but it has white in it. And I'm thinking, since I have lots of creams here, I'll stick with the cream color background, the off-white. I could put that one in there too, but I kind of like, I like this herb one, so I want to keep that. I'm just checking to see if I like it anywhere else. I think I'll keep it like this because that blue kind of adds a little color to the whole thing. So now I have it all laid out, and then what I do is, you know, I check to see how much overlap. You want some overlap so that when you sew, you know, you're sewing, you know, both pieces together and you're not right on the edge between the two. So I'm gonna put that there, take my scissors and snip it right there. Now you can either rip your fabric or cut it. I do both. And if you don't want frayed edges, then try some pinking shears. That might, you know, be something, you know, different rather than a straight edge. So I'll put that there. This one I need to trim off a little. Cut that right there. And I can see the pocket through the fabric. So I'm gonna trim it right there. This might rip. Yep. So I try to rip it because then it gives me frayed edges. Naturally frayed edges, I should say. Okay, so I'll put that there. And let's see, this one, you know, I think I might overhang it like that. Trim this off a little. Oh, another thing you might need is a trash can, because you make a lot of threads in this project, or a little bowl to put those threads in, and your pieces too, so you don't lose them or knock them on the floor, which is what I do all the time. I'm so glad you can't see my floor right now. It is a total mess. And this one, just trim it off a little bit. And so I'm excited this week because on Friday, I'm gonna go see my mom. I haven't seen her in so long. I really miss her. So I'm gonna go pay a visit to my mom. It's an hour away, so I know, and it's in towards the city, and I just don't get over there real often. So, okay, so I've got it laid out. Oh, forgot to trim this piece down here. Let's trim this. Sometimes it's better to cut it because then you don't stretch the fabric. So, okay. So let's put these back in their place, and then that's when we glue them. Now I glue them just to tack them in place, so when I go to sew, it doesn't, they don't get, they don't move around. So this one I have to bring down because this is a short piece. And make sure it's right side up too. So here we go. All right, so now I take my fabric glue and I just lift them up, put a little blob of glue down, and tack it down. Lift this one up. And, you know, just as I sat down to make this recording, I read that there were lots of people in my state right now without power, and I'm like, oh no, does that mean we're going to lose our power? Because some places or areas are getting storms today, but I didn't check the radar to see if we're going to get any more rain. We got a little bit yesterday, not a whole lot, but a little bit. Now I might have to move this over some more. I have to see how the other pieces fall. Make sure it's straight. And this piece, yeah, I'm gonna have to move that piece over a little bit more. So what I do when I have to do that is if the glue hasn't dried a whole lot, it's pretty easy to lift them up and pull it right off. And you can just stick it down again. Sometimes you have to add a little bit more glue because the old stuff won't stick anymore. So I was just thinking, I'm doing laundry today as I craft because it's right in the room next door, and I forgot to close my door because I know that you can hear that in the background. So forgive me for the background noise of the washing machine. Okay, I think I got this right now. I don't want to get them too crooked or it's going to bug me. Let's see how we do here. Come on. Yeah, so we haven't had any storms yet. It's cloudy, it's overcast, but no rain yet, so we'll see. It's really, really warm and humid out right now. Humid's not my friend. I do not like humid at all. Alright, so I've got this stuck down, and I'm going to take this over to my sewing machine, and I'm going to stitch these pieces down with a zigzag stitch, and I will be back. Okay, so I'm back. I stitched it in black because I'm out of cream thread and I have to go get some. So it's a little different. It's a different change of pace. So I used a zigzag stitch, and I stitched around the edge, and then I stitched, you know, where all the pieces of fabric intersected. And at this point, you have all these threads that are, you know, sticking out. Now, this might seem like a really time-consuming thing to do, but it really isn't once you get the hang of it. And what I do is I take my needle and I clip off the end of the thread to give it a nice clean end, thread it through my needle, and then I take it and I, you know, see where the thread is right there? So I will try to poke it down to the other side through a stitch that's already been made, like that. And I do that to every thread that comes, you know, that's on the top. And I know it seems like, oh gee, how long is this gonna take me? But it really, really doesn't. I timed myself with one piece and it took me like less than 5 minutes to do it. So it really doesn't take that long. And you don't have to be real exact as to where you put your needle back through. Just, you know, try to find another stitch and bring it through like that. So I'm going to finish this off and I will be back again. Okay, I'm back again. I also wanted to tell you, this was the piece we were working with up in this corner on the, when I was laying out the pieces, and I just switched it out. It's the same fabric, but this piece worked a little bit better. So, okay, all the threads are all pulled through, and you turn it over and you just clip them off, because don't worry about tying them, because you're gonna back this card with some, you know, cardstock or, you know, heavy paper, and the glue will serve as your, you know, way of keeping the stitches in place. Okay, see this one I forgot. Let me do that real quick. And I chose a needle that has a little bigger eye, because it helps me see better. I need new glasses and desperately, and I can't see real well right now. Okay, so that's done. Put our needle aside, trim this off, and then what I do is I go around the edge of the card and trim off the pieces that are hanging over the edge. I usually leave about maybe a little bit more than 1/8 of an inch so that I can fray the fabric on the edge, and that fraying doesn't interfere with the card. And it, you know, try to get them as, I know, well, I learned it looks better if you try to get them as even as you can. But if you like, you know, messy, or, you know, not perfect or imperfect, it kind of depends on what you like. So, and just trim them off real carefully. Leave a little bit. This one's real close to the edge, so I'm just gonna trim off this little part here. Get some new fuzz, some new fray. And then I just go around the card and pull the threads to fray it. Clean up this mess here, to give it a frayed edge. Sometimes I rub it a little to make the fray, the edge look a little bit more natural. And if I see I've gotten real crooked some in one area, I'll trim it off again. And that's about it. That finishes your pocket. So let me see what time we have here. I didn't look at the time on my previous video, so right now it only says 3 minutes. But I think I will stop here and not do another one. I think this is a good stopping point. So there's your pocket. Now you can decorate this any way you want. And this is, like I said, a great way to use up your scraps of fabric and add some texture and give, you know, your journals a little more tactile, something tactile in it. And there you go, your butler pockets. So that's my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, or maybe I inspired you. So I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.